Greetings, family, or let me say friends and visitors, for those who are not family. We're going to look up some words, and this is the Synonym Finder by J.I. Rodell. Of 1 million synonyms, the largest, most comprehensive thesaurus in print. This is the key to understanding English. You know, many of us speak the language, but reading it is another entity. It's called Legalize. So what's being said is this. If you come across a word and you study legal material, do not assume you know what that word means in legalese. That's why English is such a confusing language to learn by so many people, non-English speakers, because there's so many definitions and meaning to each word. Let's look at the word state. Conditions. Number two, second definition, plight, quandary, pitch, pickle. What is that? We're concerned with the fifth definition is country, nation, commonwealth, republic. That's the definition we're going to use for state. Country, nation, commonwealth, republic. Now, I went over that definitions so you can understand this class, which is about statelessness. Contrary to popular opinion, and I'm doing this because I did a short before and there was no sound. And I know it wasn't my mistake. Somebody else messed up or did it on purpose, so I'm going to let it stay. I'm not embarrassed by mistakes that I didn't make. I do not delete my own mistakes, so why should I start deleting mistakes that are made by the YouTube? Whether mistakes are, I don't know. So that's why I haven't deleted those where there's no sound. I didn't delete those shorts because it wasn't my fault there was no sound. So I'm doing this again, see if there's a sound on it. And I'm doing a live. So you can count if a short is deleted or there's no sound, I'm gonna do a live. Because these are ideas that I'm given. I have to share it. The convention, what convention? This is talking about the Geneva Convention, relating to the status of stateless person of 1954. Now let's give you a little background information. Those who have done their study know about the Moorish Empire that's here. And in 1954, the then President Eisenhower, who was one of these secret society Masons, worked for the Catholic Church, he decided that there may be other reasons, but for whatever reason, he decided to remove our embassy from here. The embassy that the Moroccan citizens had with Morocco. So that made a lot of stateless people. Okay, what is a stateless person? A stateless person, if you're going by calling yourself Negro, colored, black, white, Asian, American Indian, those names do not associate you with any land. You're a stateless person. And since America is in a constant state of war, they want to be sure they can identify you. The war is with the American citizens because they have allowed a rogue government to take place. I don't put no sugar on my presentations. I put it out raw. And if you offend someone, you offended by the truth, there's nothing that I can do for you. So that's why these things happened in 1954, because you had an influx of stateless people. Another thing that happened in 1954 was what was that Arkansas decision where they decided to integrate the schools? Wow. The government decided to forcefully make a people be a part of another people. It's crazy. It's crazy. The people who are uninformed, they think that was a good thing, but no, that was not a good thing. Everything you see happening now in the communities, especially melanated communities, is a result of that decision. People gave up their own schools, their own property, their own way of life to mix with another people who did not invite them. How would you feel if the government forced another people to come and take over your land? Well, this needs a lot of explanation. However, just hang around. You will understand what's being shared. I can't share everything in one day. I'm not going to even try. So you had a lot of people who were stateless during this time. They didn't even know it, like they knew they were stateless. And I'm going to explain this. To overcome the profound vulnerability that affects people who are stateless and to help resolve the practical problems they face in their everyday lives, the convention upholds the right to freedom of movement for stateless persons lawfully on the territory and required states to provide them with identity papers and travel documents. Now, let me elaborate on that. You remember on the history of the slave plantations? Right. Now, you wasn't allowed to leave or go anywhere if you didn't have your papers with you. And as a reason why the people who's ruling want to be concerned with your identity, because they are the ones who are well, I'm not going to get into that right now. I can go off on tangents. All right, let's go on. If you have identity papers, travel documents, plates from a foreign government entity, and not from your own government, you are stateless and considered a refugee. A refugee means you are in a foreign country. Now, during the those of you who older than maybe 30 or 40, you may remember the Katrina incident 15 years ago. Uh, about 10 years ago, actually. Where these people in Louisiana was forced out of their homes, their land, and the government was slowly providing assistance. It took a long time. A lot of people lost their lives. And when they began influxing into other countries / states, they was refugees. Then they said, oops. Some people got offended at the term refugee. The reason why they say refugees because you're a foreign country. If you Louisiana, you're Louisianan. You go to Texas, you're in another country. You're a refugee. But this took away from the perception that America was one melting pot. That a state to some people is like another city. No, a state, I just showed, that's why I opened up showing you the definitions. A state is another country. You get it? I can talk on this so long, but I don't want to prolong you. I respect your time. I'm going to just go a few more minutes. So if you have, going back to the scenario of the person trying to leave the plantation, he was stopped by the patrollers. Modern days, you call them police, policy enforcers. Because you're not supposed to be walking out there on the streets or traveling from any place because we're at war. And we need to know who you are. By what authority do you walk these streets? I'm the control of these streets. I am the conqueror. So to make sure my conquering is not hindered, you could be a potential enemy. Matter of fact, if you're calling yourself black, Negro, colored, which I showed you before, those names identify you as criminal, suspicious, threatening. So that's why you have a state ID or state identification. We all have them. Because if you don't identify or you don't have anything documented yourself as a national of a country, that means you're stateless. Another word for stateless is refugee. Another word for stateless is alien. Flashback to Martin Luther King. Didn't he make a speech about being aliens in our own country? Oh, yeah, he was waking up then. He was really waking up. So that's the idea I want to share right now. There's a lot more to it, but I want to try to keep these under 15 minutes, not to bore you, because I do not have an engaging voice. I know that, but I'm doing the best I can. And I want to thank you for listening, and I appreciate your input. We're growing tremendously. And very soon I'm going to be able to engage with you. I'm putting in my sweat equity, as you call it right now. Just putting all these videos out so I can refer you to them as we get live and we begin to interact with each other. So I've got a lot in the line coming down the line. All right. Thank you. Thank you for your participation and sharing the idea. It's really getting out. We're growing by leaps and bounds. Peace.